of last week. 4 more are en route to Jamaica, and 18 more will be delivered on July 14th, and 28 each will be delivered on the 22nd of July, and the 30th, and the 29th of July. So, in essence, all 110 school buses will be here by the end of July. Among the batch of buses will be 47 small units, 32-seater, with engines designed to navigate remote areas, 38 mid-sized buses, which have 54 seats, and 25 buses designed to seat 72 people each. So the configuration is 3 different types of buses, obviously because of the assessment of the terrain that we will be traversing. As it permits, 10,000 pertains to the rural transportation system, I gave a commitment that I will also reiterate. The current activity represents phase 1 of the system. We intend within 2 years to import an additional 200 to 300 buses to serve the additional 625 schools with a student population of over 300,000. It is in the intention of the government to actively pursue the possibility of the introduction of not only refurbished buses, but also new buses, as we are doing for the JUTC. This government and this minister will deliver on his commitment to put in place a safe, affordable, and convenient system which provides quality service to our children and reduces cost to parents. Let me now deal with the criticism, if you want to call it that, from those members of the opposition. The ministry has taken note of the criticisms in the public domain coming from the ranks of the opposition regarding the plans being pursued to deliver a rural school bus system for Jamaica. The buses have been dubbed old by the opposition, who have also alleged that the buses are being brought in to kill off Jamaican picnic. Let me state categorically that July 5th and 6th, 2025 are among the saddest and darkest days in our history, based on these wicked, evil statements made particularly by Mark Rowling and Peter Bunting, along with others in their party. It is simply bad mind on steroids. I wish to categorically reject these allegations as false, reckless, and a desperate attempt to use our children to attain power at any and all costs. This must never be forgotten, and they must be judged and rejected out of hand for these wicked and evil thoughts. And a simple press release, which was sent out a few minutes ago ahead of my press conference, will not take them off the hook for this. Concerning the ages of the buses purchased, as we move to roll out the school bus system, let me lay out some facts. I'm advised that the average age of registered motor cars currently in the public transport system in Jamaica is an average of 14 years old. Prior to the recent purchases, the average age of JUTC buses in the fleet was 14 years old. I'm further advised that currently the average age of registered buses in the wider public transport system is 18 years old. And these figures are coming from the ITA and the Transport Authority. So these are legitimate figures and not something that I'm just picking out of a hat. The average age of buses being purchased under the Rural Transportation Bus Initiative is 10 years old. Some are below 10 years old, as low as 8 years old. The opposition has described the buses being purchased as old, but suggested that they would pay transport operators, including bus operators, and who they described as a little man with Probox or AR wagon. I assume that he means AD wagon to transport our children. Well, the fact is, the average age of buses and cars in the public transportation system currently is between 14 and 18 years old. It's way above the average age of the buses which are being brought in as part of the rollout of the National Rural School Bus. Furthermore, the buses under the Rural School Bus system generally have way less mileage and a better maintenance history compared to what exists in the wider registered public transportation system. The average mileage on the buses being brought in is approximately 135,000 miles, with some having as low as 70,000 miles. The comments from the opposition and the data I have outlined confirms that the opposition objection to the rural school bus system is not based on principle. What is very clear in my mind, and should be to all Jamaica, is that the People's National Party will once again discontinue the rural school bus system if given the opportunity by the people of Jamaica. Their comments represent another sign of their vulgar, opportunistic, and unhelpful habit of seeking to tear down any plan put forward by government to respond to the challenges being faced by the Jamaican people. The data I just outlined also confirms that the opposition description of buses being purchased under the rural school bus system as old buses unworthy of transporting our children is unprincipled, dishonest, and should be firmly rejected.